White people, why are you guys poor? No, I want to know why white people are poor because, in all sense, with the way every single thing in America is, white people are not supposed to be poor. The only people that are supposed to be poor are Black Americans. So when I start seeing white people crying online and talking about poverty, I'm asking myself question, why are you poor? It's just a simple question if you're watching as a white person. Why are you poor? You have all the system that you want. Why are you poor? You have all the single privilege that you want. Why are you poor? If myself and you are supposed to go for an interview, you are supposed to be the one to get the interview. Why are you poor? I just want to know. Probably I'm asking the wrong question, but I just want to know why white people are poor because they do not deserve to be poor. They do not deserve to be poor. That is why you can literally see a grown up ass man, someone father, someone that is supposed to be thinking about how to forge ahead in life and how America can be great as they so promise us, is now on live TV talking this shit. But, anyways, the beautiful part of what this woman actually did in attending to him is what I love more. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, with that being said, let's dive right into this video and I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch.
So first, the face of poverty in reality looks very different than some people's perception.
Thank you.
Well, let me put a finer point on it. They think poverty is black and Latino and Hispanic people in this country, but poverty also includes a lot of white people in America.
White people, why are you poor? If you're white and you're poor, I want you to answer me very well. Why are you poor? Why are you poor in a system that is designed to have you succeed? Why are you poor in a system that is set that if me and you we go to get a job, you are most likely to get the job and I'm most likely to be working under you? How can you be poor in a system where you have positive relationship with the police while I don't? So you pull up in the airport, you're rendered all the support you need. You're given all the respect that you need because they expect you to be way over here. And me, I pull up in the airport, they first have to look at me and think I am something else. And you just go straight through. Why are you poor? I don't understand how you're going to be poor in a system where if you start education, they have already determined you. They already determined that you're going to be the astronaut. How? I mean, how do you wake up and be poor in a system where your great-grand ancestors worked so hard for you to be on top of me? Tell me, how did you end up being poor when your great-grand ancestors came to my great-grand ancestors, took everything from them to prepare a way for you? And right now you're as poor as I am. Come, don't run, don't come here. I'm not through with you. How are you going to be poor in a justice system that is set that even if me and you were into an argument and the cops pull up, I am most likely to be the one in wrong. I am the most likely to be in prison while you're out there enjoying. Hey, you want to scroll? No.
Hey, come back here. I'm not through with you yet. Well, I'm through with you.
White people like to come online and judge people of color who have a lot of kids and are struggling with poverty. Meanwhile, there are communities all over the United States where white people have 9, 10, 11 kids that they can barely take care of, where there's all kinds of incest and weird cousins marrying cousins, people not sending their kids to school because they're worried about the outside influence of the school district. Meanwhile, you can tell a lot of those kids have like different kinds of disabilities that are not being diagnosed because they don't send them to traditional schools. I mean, part of the reason why they have homeschooling or the man having dominion over the household or whatever is so they can abuse his motherfucking kids and nobody's going to get involved. The reason why we don't see them and people they don't get an opportunity to judge them is because they don't put a lot of their shit online, and the people that do, they get uplifted like, oh, look, they're a traditional family. It's like, yeah, they have older kids taking care of younger kids. And a lot of those kids don't even have the basic material shit that they need. If they don't have a TV show, they're living in fucking poverty.
Oh, you want to know how poor white Americans are treated underneath the post about white privilege? Alright, let's get into it. Poor white folks are screwed by the system too, no doubt. Poor white Americans face poverty, unemployment, crappy health care, and a failing education system. It's tough, it's brutal, and it's wrong. But guess what? You're not also dealing with systemic racism on top of all of that. White privilege doesn't mean you're living in luxury. It means that you don't have the added weight of racial discrimination. You don't have to worry about being shot by the police at a disproportionate rate for looking too suspicious. You're not getting followed around stores just because of your skin color. You're not getting your job applications thrown out because they sound too ethnic. That's the privilege right there. It's the shit you don't have to think about every damn day. Imagine being poor and then on top of that, facing a world that is rigged to suspect, ignore, and punish you based just on the color of your skin. That is what people of color have to deal with. The system is screwing everyone, but it's got an extra special screw job for people of color. So, poor white Americans are treated like crap, absolutely. But they're not getting the double whammy of poverty plus racial discrimination. That's what white privilege is. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's the absence of a second set of chains. Open your eyes and see the whole picture. The system is broken for everyone, but for some, it's downright brutal.
I don't understand how people overcome poverty in America. I really don't. You know? I've been working since I was 16 years old. I helped pay my parents' mortgage when I was still in high school. I'm 32 years old now. I don't even have a mortgage. I don't have kids. I don't have anything to show for all this time that I've paid into the system. I went to college. I have a bachelor's degree. My parents never graduated college. My parents didn't even graduate high school. I'm working on my second bachelor's degree, hoping that this one sticks. You know, like, I was paying for nursing school, half loan, half out of pocket. And COVID hit. And now I'm looking at my last quarter of nursing school and I'm realizing I'm not going to be able to graduate. I'm literally out of money. And not because I failed classes or I did something wrong. I did everything right. It's just because I'm poor. I was born poor. I'm still poor. They want me to die poor. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't understand how people overcome poverty in America. I really don't. You know?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I am from Ukraine. I am a United States citizen right now. I came to United States when I was 20 years old. No English. Nobody, knowing nobody, no money, less than $100. I hustled, I worked multiple jobs, I made a deal where I would live for free and work in the hostels until I get my stuff together. I got a degree. It took me 10 years, but I got a degree here. I paid for it myself. I also have 2 houses. I also have a CPA license I paid myself. I'm married to a teacher. I brought my mom here because she was willing to. She learned the language at 50 plus years old. She found a job. She's working. She's getting ready to buy her own place. If you don't have any health issues, how can you not do it? You were born here.
America, Americans are suffering because they don't have any money. And a new survey that was just published say that 2025 was a, quote, great year for only 1 in 10 Americans. This means that 90% of Americans were either stagnant or had a worse financial year than the previous.
I'd rather be broke in Africa than I would ever be broke in America. Okay, hear me out. First of all, when you broke in America, you broke. You motherfucking next level broke, okay? You broke until payday, broke until I don't know when I'm gonna be able to have money to pay my next bill. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do about these kids' school clothes. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this water bill, all the lights gonna get shut off. That kind of broke. But when you broke in Africa, it's a motherfucking peaceful broke. You don't got nothing to worry about. You ain't worried about nothing. Electric's only $20. In some places, you only pay rent once a year. If you're here in Kenya, you pay rent monthly, but it ain't even up to that much as it is in the USA. So when you broke over in Africa, it's a peaceful kind of broke. In Africa, as soon as you go outside, you didn't forgot you was even broke. Like, you could be broke and still look good. Nails be only $10. Hair be only $10. Motherfuckers won't even know you broke in Africa. But America, they know when you broke. You down bad and begging broke. Ooh, honey, I don't see how y'all do it in America, honey. I can't do it. I can't do it, honey. I'd rather be broke in Africa than broke in America. Some of y'all wonder, like, what am I do if I ever move over to Africa? How I'm gonna get a job? Where I'm gonna get my income from? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that shit. Just come to Africa. Come to Africa broke. Figure it out later on, okay? Figure it out when you get over here. Just come to Africa. Come here broke. Let your ass go broke in America. They gonna send an eviction notice on your door in 24 motherfucking hours, okay? How the fuck you gonna pay that $2,000, $3,000 rent? If you gonna be broke and you gonna be poor, at least be poor and broke in Africa. At least come to Africa. Since I've been here, I'm like, how are some people out here not wealthy and they're still happy? I see why now. It is actually a pleasure to be broke in Africa. Like, it's still peaceful. It's still motherfucking peaceful in Africa. Even when you're broke in Africa, it's a peaceful type of broke. You are still motivated. Trust me. In America, oh my God, you feel like you have to go to mental hospital after about a month of being broke. After about 2 weeks of being broke in America. Out here, you could be broke for years and still be happy.
In third grade, our school had a contest where every class was trying to have a canned food drive, and whoever brought in the most non-perishable goods would win like a pizza party or an ice cream sundae or something like that, right? And so, of course, I went home all excited. I lived with my mom, my grandmother, and my little sister. My mom had left my father. My father was incarcerated, and my parents got divorced due to domestic violence. My father was in prison for 5 years due to domestic violence. But anyway, I was very happy as a child. I had a wonderful mom, wonderful grandmother, like life was good. So I go home and I ask my grandmother, hey, can we give anything to the food drive? And my mom was like, yeah, absolutely. My grandma, absolutely. So the next day I'm all excited. I bring my bag of goodies into the class. I was like, here, I want to help with the food drive. And each class got to decorate their box for the food drive, right? And I remember so vividly, our box was decorated like a turkey. We used construction paper to make feathers, and we had googly eyes. And it was just wonderful. It was a wonderful thing that the whole school united behind. And we were told we were going to bless the less fortunate for Thanksgiving, right? So it was awesome, right? Wonderful memory. So it is Thanksgiving break, like a week later. I'm playing. Me and my sister are playing, and there's a knock on the door. It's not quite Thanksgiving, but, a few days before. And lo and behold, it is members of our school staff and, or my school, elementary school staff. And they're wonderful, right? But they knock on the door and they say, Happy Thanksgiving. And they hand my mom a gift certificate to the local grocery store so she could go pick herself out a really nice turkey. And they provide us with boxes of non-perishable goods to make the most delicious Thanksgiving dinner. And that's when it occurred to me that I was one of the less fortunate. The school had deemed my family as one of the less fortunate. And I didn't know that I was less fortunate. I knew I didn't have a dad in the home, right? And my school was wonderful. They looked out for me and my sister because we came from a rough situation with my father, but I didn't know I was poor. I didn't know I was less fortunate, And they bring in this box, and it is the box that my class decorated. It's the box with the construction paper feathers and the googly eyes. And I remember having the thought as a child that I can't tell anyone in my class that I got to keep our really cool box that we decorated. I can't let anyone know that I was the recipient of the googly eye turkey box, because then the whole class will know that I'm the less fortunate. Because in my head, we were taught less fortunate means the poor kid. I was the poor kid. The same box I helped fill with canned goods was the same box that ended up back in our home. And I can't praise the elementary school enough. They were so good to us. They really looked out for my mom and for my sister and I, because we were in a situation where security measures were taken to make sure that if there was ever my dad's family ever tried to come pick us up from school or something like that happened. In the 90s, like, you know, it felt like I was one of the few kids who didn't have a father in the home. But it was for our safety that we didn't have our dad in the home. It was the right thing. So anyway, I think at this memory, like, I think about it almost every Thanksgiving. And I told my husband about this a couple years ago, and I just started sobbing. And I was like, I didn't realize I was different. I didn't realize that I was poor. I didn't feel poor. I didn't feel poor because I had the best mom, the best sister, the best grandmother, and I had uncles that looked out for me. I remember just like feeling so loved by teachers and my community, and my mom, you know, she was wonderful, but I was considered poor because even though my mom worked full time in the 90s, it was a single parent household for 2 children. So I think about that, and I think about the way we use the words less fortunate or the poor or the needy. And I wonder, like, how, one, that children are learning these terms. And, like, when I see families going shopping for Angel Tree, I wonder, like, if they were to run into a kid at school and they're like, wait a minute, that's the jacket we bought them for Christmas. Or that's the toy that some kid's playing with. I know for a fact mom and dad and I went to the Target and bought that. Like, I wonder if they would view that child as, that's the poor kid. Or I wonder if they would view it as, hey, like, I wonder, like, how kids would view it, you know? So, like, growing up poor, I didn't realize it. I was so rich in love that I didn't realize I was poor in money, you know? There was another memory I have where a little girl, she asked me, I walked in with some new shoes. We got them at Payless, right? Payless was the awesome, like, the best place ever. And this girl, she's like, are those real? I remember thinking, like, yeah, they're real shoes. I mean, I'm wearing them. She's like, no, like, are they real? And I was like, I guess. And she kept looking at them. She's like, oh, no, they're not real. And I said, okay. And I remember I went home, I said, Mom, are my shoes real? And she goes, yeah. I was like, no, like, the little girl, she's like, I don't know what that little girl's talking about. Well, I later figured out in the 90s, Airwalks were the name brand shoe. Now you can buy them. They're not really considered name brand or, like, you know, I mean, I guess, I think I saw them at, like, Walmart now. Maybe we've come full circle. But anyway, I didn't know what name brands were. I was happy with my Payless shoes. I was happy with my toys. In fact, had that school never stopped by to bring a Thanksgiving meal, I know for a fact my mom and my grandmother would have made it happen because they never let us know we were poor because we were so rich in love. You know, I know this is the time of year where people are doing good. They're adopting Angel Tree kids and they're doing food drives, and just talk to people about how the recipients are perceived. You know, make sure if you can honor someone's dignity in that. I'm so careful now when I donate money or when I try to help someone or do a good deed. You know, I know the Bible talks about not let one of your hands know what the other hand's doing. Like, I think about that often. I don't, you know, get a trumpet if I make a donation like the Bible talks about. Everyone has dignity, and I never want anyone to be that little girl thinking, I can't tell anyone about this turkey box. I don't know. I don't know if the story helps anyone, but just when you're giving this year, think about who you're giving to, how it might be received, and how you can do your best to honor that person's dignity. Love you guys.
If you're broke in America right now, these are the 10 cities where life is getting actively dangerous. Not just hard, dangerous. Not because of crime, but because of policies. Cities where rent has doubled, public transit is collapsing, food deserts are growing, and hospitals are closing, but somehow there's always money for luxury condos and new jails. At number 10 is New Orleans. FEMA money has dried up, rents skyrocketed, the city just shut down multiple bus routes, and poor neighborhoods get police, but no pothole repairs, no clinics, no grocery stores. Number 9, Phoenix, Arizona. It's hitting 115 degrees this summer, but if you're homeless, it's a crime to sleep in public. They're sweeping encampments daily, and the shelters are full. Number 8 is St. Louis, Missouri. Medicaid expansion came late, hospitals are vanishing, and the city's now using AI to scan social media for risky behavior. Poor neighborhoods are being policed digitally. Number 7 is Atlanta. The rent crisis is so bad here that 60% of the renters are now rent burdened. They're building a cop city, but not a single new public housing complex in 15 years. Number 6 might shock you, it's Las Vegas. You can't park your car overnight without risking jail time. Over 70% of emergency shelter requests are denied, and wages are still pre-pandemic levels. Number 5 is Miami, the most rent-inflated city in America. Eviction rates have tripled since 2022, and the public defenders, they're overworked, underfunded, and barely taking cases. Number 4 is San Diego. California money, sure, but only if you're rich. Unhoused folks are ticketed daily for sleeping on benches, while the city gives tax breaks to yacht owners. Number 3, Birmingham, Alabama. It's basically illegal to be poor here. They've criminalized panhandling, loitering, even sitting in public for too long. And there's almost no legal aid for renters. Number 2 is Denver, a progressive city that just greenlit $9 million to evict and jail homeless residents. Meanwhile, affordable housing waitlists are closed. Closed! And at number 1, Jackson, Mississippi. Still doesn't have reliably clean water, public transit is barely running, the city's privatizing basic services, and poor black neighborhoods are literally being abandoned. If your city's on this list, or should have been, drop it in the comments. Because
this is a terrible thing to say, but I'm going to say it. There are 40% of our nation's school children that are going to state schools, public schools, are hungry. Do you know that when they're testing poorly, one of the number one reasons why they're testing poorly is they're mismanaged at home and they don't have any breakfast before they get to school. So they're hungry and they can't concentrate at school. Did you know that? We had things in place to help those people. We cut all those things. Cut them. I mean, we're taking 22 million people off of Obamacare. The big, beautiful spending bill is going to knock 22 million people off of Obamacare. What do you think?
I feel like we don't talk about how traumatizing it is to live in poverty and how traumatizing it is to constantly be living in a never-ending cycle of survival mode. It's like you're working and busting your ass, you're putting blood, sweat, and tears into your work just for the end of the week to come around and not have enough to pay your bills. You're juggling a million different things. You're trying to, somehow get ahead. You're trying to come up with, more sources of income. You're trying to make more money, and it feels like no matter what, it's just never enough. Then it's like next to no people give a fuck about you when you're poor. It's just more people pointing the finger at you, telling you everything that you're doing wrong, telling you that it's your fault that you're in the situation that you're in. Like, this society literally makes you out to be the asshole. And then people are turning to substances. People are becoming mentally unstable because, we can't cope with this shit. It's not fun. It's literally anything but fun. It feels like we're all just, being punished here. And that's exactly how they have it designed. It's like they want to keep stealing and squeezing, every last thing that we have. And you wonder why people are just losing it, because we just can't cope with it no more. Yeah, we're expected to keep showing up for this shit, be good little workers, good little consumers, go about business like nothing's wrong when it feels like everything is wrong. It's like being trapped in an abusive relationship with that toxic-ass, narcissistic-ass partner, yet you have no way to escape it.
Why do we have so much poverty in America? I just heard one of the best responses to this question, so you have to watch the video.
Why is there so much poverty in America?
Because many of us profit from it. We exploit the poor in the labor markets, housing markets, and financial markets. Many of us benefit from that exploitation. We design a welfare state that gives the most to families that need it the least. And we subsidize affluence much more seriously than we alleviate poverty. And we build and continue to maintain segregated communities. We build walls around our affluence, and we hoard opportunities behind those walls. And that creates not only pockets of affluence, but pockets of concentrated poverty. So we have to tear down the walls. We found that landlords who are operating in very poor neighborhoods, these are neighborhoods with poverty rates in excess of 27%, don't just make more than landlords in affluent neighborhoods, but make double. They make double. And the reason is their housing expenses are much lower, but rents are not that much lower in poor neighborhoods. And I think that was a real revelation to us. And it opens up both policy possibilities, but also just this idea of, poor folks aren't living in high poverty neighborhoods because that's the only place they can afford. It's not super affordable to live there, actually.
Right.
They're often living in these places because they're the only ones that allow them to live there. Is it better to be a landlord in Soho than the South Bronx? Yes, it is. But in most other cities, think like Buffalo, not Boston, it's actually better to be a landlord profit-wise in poor neighborhoods rather than affluent ones.
The average middle-class American does not understand is how incredibly violent poverty is. I'm talking about the emotional, spiritual, and physical violence of having to work near constantly just to be able to stay in survival mode. What that does to a person is...
Y'all, I'm parked in front of Dollar Tree because I'm about to go in there and get some essentials. But before that, I honestly just had like the only crash out because I had stopped to get gas, right? And I'm really in a place in my life where I'm really budgeting my finances because I just don't got it like that. I'm in a real crunch, survival, financial fucking rut. And I know it's not forever, but this is just the chapter I'm in. And as much as I try to be positive sometimes, like, it's really hard. It's really hard to be in a financial, like, survival mode when you don't know what your next move is. You don't know where your next resource is coming from, because it fucking makes you hypervigilant. And like, when you're hypervigilant, like, you can't relax, your brain can't shut off, and you can't stop worrying, and that shit just drains all your energy. Like, having to worry all the time drains your energy. And I understand that, like, people are like, oh, pray, and don't get me wrong, I pray, but when I'm about to take a shit and I don't know when the next fucking slice of paper toilet is coming from, like, that's real life 3D shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's a really difficult place to be in. And so with that being said, I had $25 in like my Apple Cash card. And so I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna go to the gas station. I'm gonna get $15 of gas. And then the rest, like, I'm gonna take to get like a little bit of essentials at Dollar Tree. And when I asked him for 15 regular, he had put gas in my car and it charged my whole shit. And I just stood there because I'm not trying to crash out in front of this man, but I'm like, fuck. Like, I literally don't have anything else. Like, my regular account is negative. Like, fuck. I have no toilet tissue. I have no, like, I need stuff for the house. Like, I don't have water. Like, I don't, oh my God. So he was like, oh, like, it charges you temporarily. Like, it's gonna refund you. So I literally drove off and I parked on this random street and I just cried. Like, I just cried. Like, I let it all out. Like, I couldn't even, it wasn't even one of those like boohoo cries. It was just like one of those silent cries where like the tears just come down and you're just like overwhelmed. You just shut down. And within a couple of minutes, like, I got $11 back, thank God. And so with that being said, I'm about to go into the Dollar Tree and I'm about to get, whatever essentials I can with that. But y'all, this is not okay. Like, this is not normal. And I share this not because I want to give a sob story, not because, I'm asking for help or anything like that. Because honestly, I'm a person that has a very hard time receiving help, and that's not even like my gist. It's just to shine a light for other people that are going through this shit, because I know that I'm not one of one. And it's not even like, oh, you can tell somebody, like, get a job. Most of the jobs right now, are not paying enough for you to cover rent, for you to cover bills, and for you to be able to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's insane. And I don't know where anybody else lives, but I live in New Jersey. It's super fucking expensive on like the Northeast. Like, it's the fact that other people live like this, because like I said, I know I'm not one of one. This shit is insane. And the fact that, like, it's only gonna get worse and this economy is only getting worse. Like, I understand, like I said, this is just a chapter. Like, I'm in my last year of grad school, so I know I'm gonna have a career next year. But the fact that, like, not many people are in my position and probably, like, have kids, have way more responsibilities than I do, and they have to live like this, it's fucking horrible. And it's depressing. And I think a big issue with, like, mental health and depression in this country is probably because people can't take care of themselves. And people know that. It makes you feel like a second-class citizen. It makes you feel like shit. It makes you feel like a bad person. And it makes you feel like you're not enough. And that's a shitty feeling. And it just makes me sad. It makes me sad that as a country we advance as much as we have, but there's so many people that are like falling between the cracks, and I don't know if anything will ever be done about that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I had to share because this shit is hard, and if you're going through this, I'm really sorry, and honestly, I wouldn't wish this on nobody for
What's up, you guys? It's your girl Coco Filipina, and I just wanted to show you guys, it's a sign of the times. Just cut EBT benefits. And today they had a food line, and this is what it looks like. Hold on. The worst part about it is they don't have enough food for everyone here. And I'm literally watching people in line breaking down in tears. This is America, I guess.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car, and I can't because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription, everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes, and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor, and I have been extremely wealthy, and I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
You know that the U.S. poverty line is actually more closely a measure of starvation than poverty? In the 1960s, an economist for the Social Security Administration named Molly Orshansky devised a formula that she believed would be able to capture the minimum amount of income a family of four needed in order to live a nutritionally sound life. Orshansky took a couple of things into consideration. In the 1950s, which is the period that she was kind of looking at while she was making these calculations, she noticed that most American families spent about 1/3 of their income on food. Based on something called the Economic Food Plan from the USDA, and because she noticed that 1/3 of income was spent on food, she took that Economic Food Plan price from the USDA and multiplied it by 3 to come up with what she believed would be an accurate poverty line, a measure of poverty. Well, that doesn't work anymore because now Americans spend much more money on food and healthcare. A much higher percent of their income goes there. But did you know that there was a recent study that said that actually that's more of a measure of starvation, and that the true poverty line in this country for a family of four should be closer to $140,000 a year. The official poverty line threshold for a family of four in this country is $32,000 a year. Let that sink in. You can't budget your way out of something like that.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. Honestly, the truth is, a lot of white folks thought that poverty was designed for black people. A lot of them they have this narrative that the only people that are permitted to be poor are black people. And not because the system was just designed like that, the narrative was also passed down to Africa. I can tell you that as an African, you can literally not convince our parents then that white people are poor. They literally see everything as, oh my God, you see these white folks, they are rich. It's generation to generation. I can tell you that till date, there are people in Africa that don't still believe that black people can, that white people can be poor. The only people they believe can be poor is black people, especially Africans. And that is why when I started doing more research, I started noticing, seeing videos of them crying. I was like, when I check into every single thing, are these people supposed to be poor? Because they've made the system, they've cheated, or what would I say, with the system to the point that it sends different signal to everybody that anybody that is dirty, anybody that is poor, anybody that's supposed to be begging should literally come from the black end. But we can see for this video that the narration is changing. Poverty was literally not only meant for black people. And I've done one video where I shared in details how 70% of white folks rely solely on welfare. That was their major source of where their income is coming from. You understand? So at the end of the day, if you go into research, you'll find out that more black Americans are the one even doing the job. More black Americans are the one even digging hard. More black Americans are the ones that can hit their chest and be like, everything I make today, I made it as a result of my hard work, as a result of what I was able to put into place, as a result of me showing up. That is it. So even when I saw this particular one of the clip, I added that when he was actually putting in details, talking in details, why are white people poor, I was like, this guy is making a lot of sense. Because the system has designed that if me and you should go for job hunting, honestly, you are likely to be picked. The system has designed that every single thing that will literally benefit black people, especially black Americans, is going to be cut off. And that is why at this point, a lot of things that they are doing, thinking that it was just going to affect black Americans, is not affecting the white folks more. Because they are the ones that rely on welfare, EBT, snaps, name them. They are the one that has literally been enjoying. But they will still target and make it look as if black Americans are the one that every single thing is literally enjoying. That is why it pains me so much in one video that I reacted where a black Nigerian guy, actually called a black American woman lazy. That she is lazy. The woman was just looking at him. That go get a job. My tax is feeding you. My tax is paying you. Why did he say that? Because the narrative have been sent down to every part of the world that black people are lazy. Black people are this. Black people are that. While if you check in actual sense, it was never meant to be like that. It has never been. But anyways, let me know what you think. Credit belongs to the original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I'd like to save my videos. I'm going to be Simba and I'll see you guys in my next one. White people, why are you poor? I just need answers. Bye, guys.